Hello, hello. Welcome to this episode of the Hello, Hello podcast. I am your host, Alyssa Rogers. We are in Danville, Virginia, sitting here with Sharon, who is, doing a phenomenal job with Haven of the Dan River region. And we're going to talk about everything that you do today, but thank you for allowing us to talk with you today.
Well, thank you for asking me to be a part of this.
Absolutely. And we have been talking a little bit before we started recording, and I'm truly inspired by what you do, because what you do is very emotional.
It is.
And we're going to kind of get into that today. But first, tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do at Haven.
Born and raised in Danville, Virginia, so I'm a native of Danville. Married and have 3 children and 5 grandchildren, so it keeps me busy. And, of course, my work at the Haven. I'll tell you a little bit about what the Haven is like. We currently are in an undisclosed location. We keep it that way to protect our victims. They come to us as victims. We like to say they leave us as survivors. We have 4 bedrooms. In those bedrooms are bunk beds, so I can potentially put 2 adults in one room, depending on different variables. We also have 2 baby beds, so we can take children in. The most I can have in there really is 8 to 10 in any given time. That is what our shelter is, and of course it's called Haven of the Dan. We have a 24-hour hotline that the public can call, and we are there 24/7. It's staffed 24/7 during the week. It's staffed every holiday. So it's never a time when the shelter is actually closed. Since I've came to the program, some of the things that we are doing now is we have a life skill counselor who gives each resident at least 2 visits a week where they can sit in a private area and talk to someone who's trained in mental health to try to help them deal with the trauma that they're going through. We deal with domestic and sexual. Some of it is very, very intense. So we like that professional in there. I also partner with other agencies in the Danville area. If I have a patient that needs more intense therapy, then I will certainly send them for a couple of visits. We're blessed now because it's at our cost. We had a funder who agreed to help us a little bit with that for this year. We also try to teach them financial literacy. We help them get their Social Security card, their driver's license, help them get food stamps and any public service that they need. When they come to us, generally it's the clothes on their back and nothing else.
Wow. So they've left. So they've decided, okay, I need to get some help. I need someone to help me. And they've just left their situation and they show up to you on the doorstep.
It's several ways we get them. We do get some of that. They finally have gotten brave enough to leave. They come to us with nothing, maybe a pocketbook in hand. In that case, we've got to get clothes. We've got to feed them. Any and all of that we have to do. Then we get them with our partnership with the Danville Police. It's what's called lap calls.
Okay.
So when they go, for example, if they go to a hospital for a rape victim, or if they go for a lady or a gentleman that's gotten beaten up, they will call us, and there is a form that they report to us on, and that helps us to do an intake. And if the person chooses shelter and we have it available, then we bring them into our program. If shelter is not available, then I take my services to the community and meet them where they are. Aside from that, financial literacy, most of them can't tell you anything about a debit card. Wow. Other than it's supposed to have money on it. But they don't understand budgeting, because usually the abuser has taken care of that and gives them what they quote unquote are allowed.
Got it.
So we rebuild the self-confidence. We try to do with them just like you would train a 17-year-old to be able to go on their own at 18.
Right.
You do this for women and men of all ages.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing what you do. How long is this program, or how do you determine how long someone is with you?
General consensus is 15 to 30 days. It can go longer, and the way I determine that is when I first get the victim in, for about 3 days, we're going to watch that victim. We're going to talk to them every hour, every other hour, because I don't know what effects their trauma is having on them. I don't want them in their room thinking of suicide or thinking of drug use or thinking, I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody please help me.
Right.
So for the first few days, it's like, hello, how are you? Get them fed, get them comfortable. My shelter does look very home welcoming, and I've tried to make it that way. So once we do that, we meet with them and we set up goals. We have like a sheet of paper that lists out all the goals on the intake. They tell me what they want, at least 3 goals. And then we set up a plan on what steps we do to meet those goals. Right. And then every other day, we're meeting with them with progress. Where are you on trying to apply for your GED? Where are you on your Social Security card? We have a computer that they can check out so they can do any and all of this online. And they master one goal at a time. And then in the background, I'm also trying to meet with prospective employees in the community and saying, I got this lady, her background is waitressing. She's going through our program. Can you work with her? And when I'm comfortable that they are comfortable with basic skills to rebuild their life and go forward, then I will give them an exit date. Yeah. So each situation is different. If I bring a lady and a man, I'm sorry, I keep saying ladies, but it's mostly that.
Right.
If I bring them into my facility and I let them lay there and I do nothing with them, I've done no more than give them a bed.
Right.
Well, how are they going to go back? What are they going to go back to? So it's a complete education and try to rebuild and show them that they are valuable and that they can be successful.
Absolutely. And I mean, and you mentioned men. We were talking about that and how it's, often men aren't talked about as the victim of abuse. And so take us through that and what that looks like in our area.
Well, and I'll use me for example. At my age, you never thought of a man being a victim. You thought of the man being the abuser. I've learned I was very wrong. Wow. Yes, that has opened my eyes. The only thing with the men, generally the men will not even call the hotline. You'll find a neighbor, an aunt, a mother, or a dad that has witnessed it, that is calling the hotline with such and such needs help. And then they'll either get the male to call, or they'll give me a number and say, hey, can you just call and try to initiate the conversation? Once we do that, we do the best we can for our men. But the way our shelter is, as small as it is, we cannot provide housing within our shelter, because if you have a rape victim in one room and you bring in a male at no fault of his own, it's a trigger. And it could be a trigger to both of them, because men are rape victims too. And you just don't even fathom that sometimes. Right. But what I can do when I'm able to is try to get them maybe a motel stay for a night, as long as funding is out there to do that. And with the way the funding situation is now, that it's not a lot of that. It's not a lot. Yeah. I do offer counseling services for them. Just as I would do a lady, we will go do a protective order. Anything that I would offer the female and the children, I will offer that man. It just has to be an alternative to housing. Men do not self-report at all.
Yeah.
My goal is to find a secondary shelter.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be as simple as someone who had a 2 or 3 bedroom house and says, I will donate the use of this house for shelter, for transitional shelter, or for shelter for the men, or even for overflow.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing for me to turn around 3 to 5 people out. Turn them away.
You were just talking about that, how you're having to turn people away every week.
Every week.
And that has got to take a toll on you, because I'm sure you want to help everyone and provide them the resources that they need. And what I want to know, because these are very sensitive, tragic, emotionally disturbing things that people are going through that no one should ever have to go through.
Correct.
How do you protect their safety while they're there? Do they ever have a fear that their abuser is going to find them? And how do you make sure that they know that they're safe?
They are very, very, very feared when they come in.
Mm-hmm.
If a door shuts,
Right.
they'll go to pieces. If somebody drops a glass, then it's a big ordeal. So the trauma is very real. But the fact that I have staff there 24/7.
Right.
We have cameras around the building. There are 8 cameras that are visible all the way around the building, even up into the street and the parking lot. There is cameras in the common areas within the shelter, such as the living room and the kitchen. There's no cameras, of course, in the bathroom. We don't invade people's privacy.
Sure.
And it's no cameras in their individual rooms. So I have said, walk with me. Let me show you these cameras. And that in turn makes them feel better. Usually when they get in there and they meet someone in the other room that's been through what they've been through, they kind of lift each other up. If I get one that I think, this abuser is going to come.
Right.
I know he's going to come.
Right.
Then again, I'll call Danville PD and say, I've got one that's fairly serious. I feel like the abuser may come here. Can you give me increased police ride-bys? They're very happy to do that. We value very much our partnership with the Danville Police.
Absolutely. What you're doing, like I said in the beginning, is I know you were just saying you had 4 hours of sleep last night.
Yes.
Because of, the 24/7. And are you on call all the time? How do you... I am sure it is so hard to carry and see what you see every day and then be able to go home to your family and your kids. And so how do you manage that?
Well, I look at this as not just a job. You're not going to be in this for the money. If anybody ever thinks they're going to get rich in a shelter doing it, no, they're not. It's a mission. And that's how I cope with it. And honest to God, this is actually the truth. I pray every morning, put the people in front of me that you want me to help and give me the wisdom to do it.
Wow.
And do I turn it off at 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night? No, no, I don't, because I get on my agency phone, I get calls and texts and messages. Now, they'll call the staff, and the staff will handle it on the front line. But if it's something to the severity where the staff are unsure, then I need to get up and go in. So it's 24/7.
And what led you to this?
Oh, this is funny. I have never done this. I never dreamed I would do this. This was not even in my thoughts.
Right.
My background has been in public health as a finance officer for a health department.
Wow.
And I retired from that. And then I took a job in the private sector teaching billing and consulting, trained billers, that kind of thing. Done that for 2 years and went on the road and set up home health agencies and helped get them accredited. Well, I was at home and I was having a bad day, and a friend says, well, there's a job you ought to apply for. And I said, well, I don't need a job. I don't need a job. She said, well, you'd be really good at it. So I did. And from that, I got hired. So I really believe that God had to show me this was the mission and that this was the job that I was supposed to be in. But I love it.
I can tell.
Would I go back to any of the other jobs that I had? And they were wonderful jobs. I had no problem with it. No, I wouldn't. When I'm through with this job and I go home at night, I didn't change a number. I helped a person, and that person is in front of me. And when they come back months later, as I had happened this week, I was in a meeting. The staff said, come to the door. We don't know this lady, and she's got a bunch of kids. So I went to the door, and it was one that come back to give me a hug, and the kids wanted to give me a hug and let me know that they were doing all right. That's the reward in it.
Absolutely. I feel that you are exactly where you need to be and helping everyone. I know that it takes funding and financial support to be able to do what you do. How can people get involved in helping fund such a needed cause in our community?
Well, we can take private donations. If you have an individual that wants to do a donation, they can do that on the Cash App on our website, or they can just call the shelter. I go meet people to pick up donations. I do also public speaking, just as we're doing now. If you got a church group, a civic group, anything like that, and you need a speaker for an event, then I come out and do that. And the means to do that is to provide education and raise awareness to the resources. And a lot of times those civic groups will take us on as projects. We've had some good donors come our way through that.
And is it Danville residents only, or do you take anyone from outside of this area?
Well, our service area is Danville in Pennsylvania County.
Okay.
However, I have taken them from North Carolina. We're a border state.
Sure.
And North Carolina has closed their shelter in Caswell County. So Caswell County doesn't have anywhere for these ladies or these people to get help, and I don't have it in my heart to turn them away.
Yeah.
I need to help them with something.
So if there's someone that's watching right now that feels like they know someone that needs help, or they themselves have needed help for a while, how can they get in touch? What is the hotline, and what does that process look like for them?
Well, I knew you was going to ask me that, and I was just sitting here thinking, do I have a hotline card on me? But let me look
for it if you do. And we can post the number, and we'll link it.
Yes. Yes, I do have a hotline number here. Okay, if they want to call the hotline, they can call 434. Let me put my glasses on. Show you I'm getting old here now. 434-483-5482.
Okay, and that number is listed above as well, and the website will be linked, and you can get all the information that you need if you do know someone that is in need of these services, because I truly believe this is an epidemic in our community, and we don't know every situation.
No.
And there are so many people that just don't know that this is provided to them.
Well, they don't know we're here. And if they think we're here, they're thinking, oh, you just go sleep overnight. They don't know that we have modified it to make it a treatment for the whole person. And that's important. Studies show that a victim will go back to their abuser 7 times before they actually are ready to leave. And some of them don't make it 7 times. Some of them make it 1, 2, or 3 times. So what we also do is give them tools for healthy relationships. What is a healthy dating relationship? Hitting is not okay. Black eyes are not okay.
Right.
And some people just do not, they don't have the education on how to make healthy decisions.
Wow, and you help them with that. And
we do. That's in the counseling. That's when I meet with them. We provide clothes, we provide food, anything they would need, anything.
And do you take donations of clothes and toys for kids or anything like that?
We do. They just contact us and say they have stuff to donate. Preferably not anything that that you wouldn't think was usable.
Right.
Stuffed animals are wonderful, but I can't wash stuffed animals.
Yeah.
If they're in good shape, then the kids love them because we give them to them as a comfort tool. But yes, people just call up on the hotline and they say, I'd like to donate, blah, blah, blah. And we meet them in the community, pick up the donations. And then, of course, I send them something for their taxes.
Sure.
We do a lot of times need household donations. We have a storage unit that we can store some things in. A perfect example of that is that I have 2 ladies now that are getting ready to exit my program. And I found them housing. They have no furniture. They have nothing at all. They come to me with nothing. They now have clothes and all of that, but they have no furniture. I can't see putting a lady in an apartment for her to lay in the floor on a blanket.
Right.
So when that happens, I will try to put on Facebook or on my personal Facebook or talk to groups and say, hey, has anybody got a bed? Anybody got an air mattress? Any of this kind of thing. And that's where individuals and community partnerships come in. I partner a lot with Pastor Ryan, who does the Pay It Forward down here. Actually, today he just gave me 3 air mattresses to cover those ladies. So, and I work with the Women's Center, the Redemption Church down there, and then I partner with the House of Hope. If I get more clothes or more donations that I can store, that I can use, then I take them to these people and I say, hey, can we share what we have with you?
Thank you for everything that you do.
Well, you're welcome.
I mean, it is, I know, a tough job, and you do it so well.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed sitting here with you today and, getting to know the Haven and everything that you're offering to our community. I think it's so important, and I just appreciate everything that you're doing for people in our community to help them live a healthier and better life, and letting them know that there is a path after abuse and they can live. And so thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. We do have some upcoming fundraisers that I'm trying to work on. We've never had, I've only been in this job a little over a year, but prior to me, we never had a lot of fundraising going on or anything that is an annual fundraiser to where the community could say, I know they're going to do this. So what I'm trying to work on for the month of October, that is Domestic Violence Month, that whole month. I'd like to get a annual car show put together. And that could be what is our annual fundraiser. And I'll say this, anybody who knows about car shows, please call me and help me.
Okay.
Because I don't. That's just not something I've done. I would like to see it be a big event and it, with everybody knowing they'll have a good time, but the money goes to the Haven. So again, anybody who knows those contacts that can help me in the community that wants to partner or just, be a sounding board, help me out. I'm welcoming that. I also had a thought of every dollar makes a difference. I've got to put some more thought in this. We do have Cash App and it's on our website. So if I could get the media and the people involved that someday in October, it doesn't matter, or the whole month, whatever you want to do, if everyone who could, every working person, every citizen could just donate $1 on Cash App, that would be such a blessing. Because then when the men need housing, I can afford that hotel. If my funds are depleted, I can afford that. To put a person in a hotel now in Danville is not cheap.
No, not at all.
It used to be the days they were, and now they're not. Those kind of things are projects that I'm working on. And again, if anybody out there is really versed in fundraising and has some very good ideas, I'd be happy to meet with them and talk to them about it. We do get some grant funds, so we're not all by donations. But a lot of times the grant funds from your state and federal grants are very restrictive.
Yes.
And they do not cover the everyday needs of what my clients may need.
If you're listening and you'd like to donate, it's on the website. The website is linked above. Cash App, as little as $1 makes a difference. And so just know that there are ways that you can give back. If you're interested in helping fundraise, please call Sharon. Her contact information will be listed. And I just, again, appreciate you spending time with us today.
Well, thank you.
And I appreciate everyone for watching and listening to this episode of Hello, Hello. I hope you are as moved as I am today because truly, this is happening right around us in these small towns. We may not think it is, but it is more than you think. So let's get involved. Let's help this cause. And we will talk to you next week. Continue rating, reviewing, subscribing, doing all the things you've been doing. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.
Thank you.